Open heart reveals an open mind. Compliments of psychophilia.
Thank you, sir.
There are many truths here in the desert. This is one of them. You might find your own.
Thank you.
Or lose your own. Stephen Raspa, S-T-E-V-E-N, last name R-A-S-P-A, and the S is of dollar signs. Thank you very much. I love the Circle of Regional Effigies. For me, it's a perfect metaphor for a broad-based community that is coming together, a circle around the original effigy, the children, if you will, the offshoots, but they're equally important.
I think for the regional network, first of all, it really gives Black Rock citizens a visual representation of the work that the communities around the world are doing, and the collaboration and the communal effort that's happening all over the place and all the time. I think that it puts the core projects front and center. And in terms of the regional network, our mission has always been to help groups create community through communal art projects, through civic engagement, through celebration events. And I think that the core project has really given these groups an opportunity to strengthen their ties with one another and to also put themselves on a stage within their local communities. The core projects have given groups recognition in local press. Resources from other sources have really come to the table as a result of them taking the initiative and taking the step to decide that they're going to bring art as a community in their community's name to Black Rock City.
It got started in a very organic way. I mean, our first regional really grew out of a desire to support Burning Man in a time of crisis when the Austin, Texas community threw a fundraiser for Burning Man. It was a year in which we didn't know if we were going to survive and we would have the funds to come back, and it was their generosity that then brought them together as a community, and burners there met one another and clicked. And next thing we know it, they're organizing events of their own, and increasingly my role with Burning Man was supporting year-round community events in the Bay Area, which was something I cared about. After having this experience on Playa, I wanted to bring it to the Bay Area community, and the lesson for me was not to keep it out here in the middle of nowhere, but to bring it into everyday life. And in that capacity, suddenly people around the world were saying, hey, how do you do this? And can we do a gathering? And how can we meet other burners? And so it grew in a very organic way, from a very decentralized base of peer-to-peers versus any top-down. And I think that's been the strength of the network, because it was never directed. It was something that grew out of people's passion for the experience here and their desire to bring it into their everyday lives.
I'm Kim Spencer, and I'm the artist of this piece. I collaborated with a carpenter called Matt Wood. Our piece is called Psychophilia, and it comes from Vancouver Island, Victoria, BC.
Well, I guess I'm one of the builders. I'm a ticketed carpenter, so I had a bit more responsibility, but I was just one of the people that helped build it, yeah.
So being on the playa with the disability has been quite challenging. I went to the regionals the last couple of years to kind of see what that would be, camping with a disability, equipment support, all type of stuff. Keep an eye on playa conditions, looking at temperature regulation, looking at equipment, terrain, battery life, all those things factor. So I have to be as prepared as a burner, but I have to be over-prepared, more prepared than any burner.
Yet you're here working on the core projects. Tell me about that.
I'm just very fortunate to be involved. I help, with a bit of marketing, communications, and finance, and just honored to have been a part of it.
Well, what it represents, to me, because I think that's a question like, what does this song mean to you? And Kim's the original artist, so I think for her, what it means to her is probably the right answer.
This one is called Psychophilia, which stands for the love of the mind. Basically, it's kind of like your big brain turns me on. And the whole premise of it was started from the fertility theme. And I wanted to sort of focus on the fertility of the community mind or collective mind and get as many artists and brilliant people in my community to contribute. So it's kind of like a melting pot of different people's skills and ideas all gathered together, whether it be sound, because you've got sound in there, lighting, there's sound from wind, like a wind harp, and then tons and tons of art, like painted art that people can put up. And that's including recipes and pictures and whatever.
What it means to me is I just wanted to give people something beautiful to see and to play around on here at Burning Man. That's what it meant to me, I guess.
Well, originally it was supposed to be Coast Salish because it was regional, and I wanted to pay homage to our local First Nations people, but they said that I couldn't because I was white. So it became, in tongue-in-cheek, it became gender-neutral, ageless, without any reference to culture, blah, blah, blah. Very, very PC and basic. There's going to be a viewing deck, so there's a ladder inside. You can either crawl through the mouth or the big door at the back. We made it wheelchair accessible because I've got a couple of friends in wheelchairs. And then there's a ladder that will take up to the deck, and from the deck there'll be railings all around, which will eventually be the forehead. And so people can have a view, and then there'll be poles coming out like thoughts with artwork on top. So it's kind of like a gallery above, and then there's a gallery underneath. So it provides a lot of shade as well, and there's going to be murals on the inside, so that'll be providing shade for the dust, wind, everything.
We got the lumber from about 2 hours north of where we live in Nanaimo. A company called Gorgeous Boards provided a whole jag of lumber for about $300. We got a bunch of shimstock cedar, which is really thin cedar, and there's maple on the nose, and there's some beechwood around if you look hard. And so we were very lucky and fortunate that way to get some material that kind of represents where we're from. We built it in 4-foot panels so that we could ship it. We knew we'd have to ship it about 18 hours down here. So, my hope was that we wouldn't actually have to cut any pieces or fabricate anything here, but it would just be assembled. And I think we lost a piece, so there has been one thing cut, and if that's the worst thing that happens, then that'll be wonderful.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
How was it working as a collaborative art project?
Oh, wow. No comments. Next question. No, it's working with any volunteer organization. I think if you're a hard worker and you're willing to take on work, people are very willing to let you take that work. So I guess my experience is it's been positive, for the majority, but there was definitely some birth pains. When you make something like this, when you give birth to this giant baby that we've made here, there's going to be some stress and anxiety that goes with it too. So I wish I could say that everything went perfectly, but that's not how the world works, I don't think. So we just, we adapt and overcome, I guess.
And how's it going now that everything's up and...
Whee! I love it. I love coming out here. I love pretending I'm not involved and just eavesdropping on people, and all the comments are really positive and fun, and people are interacting and pretending to be eaten alive and things, and it's all been great. And thanking me for creating a dust shelter, because the dust's been pretty interesting this year. But yeah, it's been great.
So all that hard work and love and energy, and here it is.
Yeah, here it is. It was an incredibly tough journey, but yeah, now that it's here, I can let go and relax and have fun and just receive all this positive comments and energy and hugs galore. It's been great.
Would you do it again, and what did you learn?
I would absolutely do it again. This is my second year doing one. What did I learn? Interview people who volunteer. And I don't know. I guess it's just if you set your mind to something, people will come and help out, and beautiful people want to contribute, and look what happens. It's pretty amazing.
Now I was going to say, somebody must have had a real sense of humor because you've got a bindi with the egg.
My third eye.
Oh, okay, good. Explain that, and then of course now the eyes are open. Open.
Yep.
But those themselves have a little twist to them. They're kind of funny.
They do, because they're. It's based on our region. I wanted to sort of sample that a bit, and so I had my friend Marie. She painted the our right, and it's has the spirit bear in it and the cedar forest of the west coast of BC, and then the other eye has a Pacific Coast octopus and bull kelp representing the ocean around our coast. So, and then the centers are plexiglass, so people can look through the plexiglass hole and see what the weather's like before they actually go out. And I also thought it'd be fun to have the shutters so you could totally open and you could have a pair of friends each become an iris, pull silly faces. So I just wanted it really interactive and a bit of humor, a bit of whimsy.
Yeah, we have a really great group in Victoria. If I could thank a few people, Liam Laval, who actually didn't make it, he put in a huge amount of hours, 100 hours at least. organizing and doing administration. We had our friend Cam Bremner, who works for the Coast Guard. He set up our photovoltaic cell or our solar panel system so that we don't have to run off electricity here. Chris Daly was a huge help to me. He came every time we were building and put his hands on it and worked hard. We had Mike and Kate for Kate's done a lot of the painting on the interior that maybe you'll see later, and Mike did all the electrical for us. We've got LEDs going around the inside, and Stefan helped drive it down here. I should thank Stefan too. He was the one that did the transportation. We had another guy, Terry, who threw his back out. He was our transportation sort of lead as well. We had a regional representative, Ashes. He built a WordPress website for us. We had a girl, Amara, that she sort of organized that, and a Twitter and a bunch of other stuff. They're pretty good party promoters. So the community, like, we raised about, I think, maybe $4,000 to do this, which was pretty amazing.